Greetings everybody and welcome back to Rebuilding the Commonwealth with myself. Bear with me, I'm just going to turn a few of these down just a little bit here. I'm working on a new setup here, just for your information. So yeah, today's episode probably won't have any building in it. In fact, I'm probably not even going to class this as an actual episode. This is more a video on the state of things while I set up some infrastructure for the upcoming few episodes.
Hey, Daisy.
Got some good deals. You won't believe what's in
Sure. Let's take a look.
So
a little bit of it.
yeah, a lot of the materials I have, I've actually run out of at base, and I honestly can't actually do anything more until I've got some more equipment here. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this episode. But yeah, the last kind of short while has been a bit crazy. You'll have to forgive my train of thought on this one, because I've still not got over that flu that I posted about. I still have that horrible winter flu still going, and it's quite frankly doing my bloody head in now. It either needs to go away or just needs to pay rent. One of the two. I don't care which. Preferably pay rent, because everybody needs extra money. You know what I mean? So yeah, let me. What I'm going to be doing is just going around the vendors here and picking up materials, because I am rather low on a lot of materials. So I'm going to be buying mostly concrete, but I'll be going through that in the background. So what has been going on? Because as you can tell from my posts and all that, I've not put up a video in, how long now? A month and a half? Something like that. But yeah, there are a multitude of reasons for that, and I feel like the silence is deafening, as it were. And if any of you out there have seen Hot Fuzz, the movie, I love Hot Fuzz. It's one of my favourites. But yeah, if you've seen that scene where Danny is like, you just need to turn off that big old melon of yours. I feel like I'm kind of in that similar position, like just trying to turn off my bloody great melon. And sort of yesterday, I went to bed quite late. I had a couple of beers left, and I thought to myself, now the only way I can really get what's in this great big melon of mine is to put it into speech. I figured, why not kill two birds with one stone? Give you guys some content, get some things off my head, everybody wins. So yeah, the last bit of content you saw from me was probably November time. My birthday, incidentally. So yeah, it was my birthday back in November. I had got some big plans drawn up for the series. I was very much looking forward to continuing the legacy, getting 200, 300, 400 episodes, whatever works. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case so far. So where to begin? Well, after my birthday, it was the festive period. Oh, hello. It was the festive period, which of course I took a bit of a back step just because, a lot goes on at Christmas. I've got to see family, I'm going to see my girlfriend, I have to spend some time doing Christmas presents and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you guys know how it is. Sometimes you just don't have time for these sorts of things.
Excuse me.
Welcome back. Looking to trade?
You see, I work a full-time job in the city.
You got the tax?
My commute is about an hour and a half, just under like an hour and a half each way. It's quite an exhausting commute, so when I get home, I don't have much energy. Not an excuse anyway, but fact is, I don't have much time before I go to sleep, and I've got a lot to juggle in those. So I had the festive period, and I was getting ready to, create some videos, do my Project Zomboid series I keep promising, and then I come down with the winter flu. This one wasn't too bad, but it took a lot out of me, you see, and it wasn't fun. Like, Felt a little bit shivery on the inside, but I couldn't really record much. But I figured, you know, it'll go away, it'll pass, and then we can all go back to whatever the hell we were doing in the first place. And I figured nothing of it. Then I recovered from that just before Christmas, about 20th, 21st of December. And by that point, of course, Christmas is right on top of me. I level up, didn't even know that. So yeah, Christmas was then on top of me, and I was in between my partner's family, my own family, going back and forth. I wasn't physically out of my house, so I couldn't have recorded anything anyway. But again, I know real life comes first. A little bit in between Christmas and New Year, I was unlucky enough to be working because, well, some unlucky sod's got to do it. Just happened to be me. I don't tend to make plans at Christmas, so I was happy to do it. There's not really much more I can buy here. Screw it. Yeah, there's not really much more I can do there. So yeah, New Year rolls round. Once again, I'm busy with family, friends, seeing some friends of mine that I haven't seen in a fair bit, and yeah, that was quite a joyous occasion. Enjoying everyone's company. Yeah, not really an issue. Then it gets round to the beginning of January, the New Year, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but I am currently doing a course, like a distance learning study course, for me to become a financial planner. So, technically speaking, after I finish with this, very chic. Technically, after I finish this course, which I anticipate will be, I don't know, a few months at least, I guess. I will technically be qualified to give financial advice. I could tell people technically where to place investments, money, mortgages, all that kind of stuff. Am I going to do it? Probably not, because yes, I've worked in the financial field for the last 6 or 7 years, but it's not been in financial planning. I'm sure I'd probably be okay at it if I put my mind to it, but it's not really a career for me. But I technically could give financial advice, so I probably won't do that on YouTube. But that's the goal I'm going for. So that's kind of been taking up a lot of my time. I've got 2 or 3 notebooks back there of all the stuff that I've been doing to try and get ready for my exam, which hopefully shouldn't be too much longer. But that's been, I say, fun to study. It's studied really fun. Unless it's a subject you're super passionate about, but that's not for me to tell you. Now, as well, right after the New Year, what I posted to you guys, I got really, really ill, and I'm still ill to this day. So I've got a big drink here for this. Yeah. I'm sure if you live in England at the moment, I couldn't speak for like the US or anywhere else. But right now, there is a really, really bad winter flu variant going around at the moment. And it's taking people like 3, 4, 5 weeks to recover. I happen to be unlucky enough to be one of those people. I just came back from a...
Excuse me.
I came back from a
See what you got.
Dungeons and Dragons session. So I came back from D&D. I was all good. And when I got home, like my body was cold on the inside, like my muscles were shaking, my head was burning up. I was like, oh my god, I must have eaten something crazy to get here. And then went to bed, felt a bit better by the morning, carried on working, and just slowly, just deteriorating. And before I knew it, I was an absolute fucking mess for a while. So that was the story behind that, and yeah, I'm still a bit of a mess at the moment, but I can actually concentrate and string together some coherent sentences. I was actually playing balloons the other day with one of my old friends, and it was only by morning I sat there and thought to myself, I genuinely cannot actually remember what I did or said. And I actually asked him, I went, that game, what was, was I all right? And he was like, well, yeah, you seemed that way. But I couldn't string together a coherent sentence. I was on so many cold and flu medicines and painkillers that I probably sounded like a complete and utter moron for a while, which was as fun as a bag of rocks. Yeah, it was not fun. So yeah, I'm still recovering. I thought I was getting better up until last week, and now I'm deteriorating again. The cough's coming back, the headache's coming back. Luckily, the aches are kind of going. So, oh god. But despite all that, at the weekend, one of my partner's friends had an engagement party, which was some distance from here, and I drove for like a couple of hours and a half to go up to that. Stayed overnight, so that was a weekend that I wasn't obviously recording. Yeah, be quiet, Trudy. And then that obviously meant I didn't record. I got back. I was again quite the worse for wear, so didn't record. And just sort of tried to knuckle into my studies while I'm still feeling like absolute dog shite. Oh, yeah. Sorry, my head's a bit achy here. On top of that, this week actually, my partner has actually moved house. She hasn't moved like a really, really far distance from me, but she used to be almost at the end of my street, as a matter of fact. Like 5 minutes of walking, and I could go and see her and say hello, or take a cup of coffee, or if I'm feeling nice and generous, I could bring her dinner or pop out for a midnight adventure. I mean, who hasn't done a midnight walk to Tesco before? That's like relationship defining stuff right there. So she kind of moved from there, being the the supportive partner I am. I've took some time to go and help her move, so helping her pack up, driving some of her stuff over, go and see the new place. It is a lovely place, by the way. The house that she's moved into is absolutely gorgeous, and yeah, like it's all brand new. It's all been freshly painted. It's not been given the landlord treatment, but no, her mother's actually bought the place, and it looks stunning. Like you can't fault it. It looks beautiful. But that's taken up a fair bit of my time. Been sort of worried about the petrol cost. The petrol cost is actually fine. Like it's not like we can't see each other or anything like that. But it's feeling a bit weird that she's no longer at the end of my street anymore. That going to see her is now going to actually have to take some forward planning. Because as you might have guessed, planning is not exactly my strong suit. I barely plan for anything, let alone going and seeing people. Excuse me. I've picked up another responsibility in my life as well, which is I've actually been taken on as a dungeon master for a restaurant near me. So I'm just thinking of the best place to rest without crashing my game, because there aren't very many I can use nowadays. I'll try Nordhagen. Yes, I've taken up dungeon mastering at a local cafe which has Dungeons and Dragons nights a couple of times a week. So I do campaigns down there on a Friday. Mostly one-shots, but if you guys have ever done DMing, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for a sort of really cohesive campaign. But the first one that I've done went down really well. It was a modern day twist on D&D 5e rules. The scenario was protect the Prime Minister, and it actually went down a treat. I was remarkably surprised. But the amount of work that went into doing that one shot was a lot. Like, I've drawn an entire map, done character sheets, special abilities, had to get it run by people, balance them, all that kind of stuff. I need to sleep, I believe, for 24 hours in here. That's it. So yeah, that's also taken up my time on top of being ill. As a result of being ill now, I don't know if any of you guys are like me, but when I get ill, I don't want to like do anything like around the house, like the kind of menial jobs, the menial tasks, all that kind of stuff. And I kind of got into that state. And when it starts to get into that state, yeah, this is kind of deeply personal stuff here, but it's not like it's an unusual thing. Oh, hello. Yes, it's not too difficult, but previously in my life, like through my teenage years, my early 20s, I suffered from very bad depression. Like, yeah, it happens. I found ways to deal with it, eventually got over with it, but one of the side effects of that, I'm quite susceptible to low moods when shit is hitting the fan. Like, if my home life is shit, but my work life is great, it balances out. Like, yeah, I can deal with that. Likewise, if my work is really stressful, which it's not at the moment, I work in financial services, like, no fucker is getting a mortgage and loans at the moment, I can assure you of that. We have good old Liz Truss to thank for that one. So, like, my work life is very, very quiet at the moment, like my day job. So if my day job is very stressful or whatever, but my home life is fine, that is also fine. But when both are doing the same, that's when we have issues. You know, just for the flavour here, I'm actually going to go and shoot up this ship over here. Just for the sake of variety. So, not that my work life is shit, it's not, it is far from it. But because I work in mortgages, I work in loans and lending and all that kind of stuff, because we went from like 100 inquiries a day down to like 6. That's not even a word of a lie either. Like, we've gone from 3 digits to 1 digit in the space of a month. So when I work from home, my work day consists of twiddling my thumbs for most of it. And twiddling my thumbs, when it's that quiet, it can do some cruel things to you. So on top of having a work life that is very, very quiet, and feeling ill and not maintaining your home life, which I wasn't doing because I live on my own, if some of you hadn't figured that out. I live by myself in a fairly small but fairly sizable, a relatively sizable that is, 1-bedroom apartment with just me. I bought the place a couple of years ago. And I do love it here, you know, there's plenty of space just for me. But I live alone. Which means there's nobody here when I'm, you know, feeling rubbish or I can't do anything. There's no one here who will, you know, help me out with it. So, yes, my partner has frequently offered and even forced me to let her do the chores in my house before. It is quite funny sometimes. But I'm obviously not going to put that burden on her. Oh, this is a fucking bloodbath and a half. Now the issue is, when everything does get really untidy, and I mean this place was a shithole, I normally keep a really clean house. If there's plates out on the side, I have to clean it up like, within a day. If there's, you know, the floor is looking horrible, I have to vacuum it. If there's anything wrong at all, like I have to put it right. It depresses me. But when I've gone through every single plate in my entire kitchen, all of my knives and forks are completely dirty and done. All my frying pans and my oven trays and all that. And my kitchen is a shithole. The floor is disgusting. My living room is cluttered as hell. You know, there's the rug that I've got here looks disgusting. It looks like I've salvaged it from a skip or a dumpster or something. When the house gets like that, I start getting depressed. And I'm like, I don't like this anymore. Then coupled with all of that together, you don't really feel like you have the brain capacity for doing things like recording videos. And that's kind of the trap I fell into. I was like, you know what? I don't really want to record videos. I'm just going to make shit content if I do. And that would be true. If I'm not feeling something, it will reflect in what I'm saying. It will reflect in what I'm doing. And that's just not how I do things. I can't give half-assed content. It has to be good content, or I don't do it. It's that simple. So the house is a shithole. Work is completely quiet. My partner is moving, and she's got all of that stuff to deal with. So you know, I'm not going to trouble her with that kind of stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. She is amazing. She is the most supportive person I know. And I've told her all about it. I'm like, look, don't worry about me. I will be fine. Get everything you need to do sorted. You know, I just feel like I was starting to get on the slippery slope. I wasn't on it yet, but I felt like I was getting on it. So I had to go and sort myself out, which is what I've done for the most part. Still got a few things I need to do before I can actually relax, I will admit. But hopefully they will iron themselves out. And I was just kind of sat there the other night thinking, yeah, she's not at the end of the street anymore. But I saw how amazing that house was, the house that she's moved to with her family, and I'm like, man, I hope one day we have a house that's as amazing as this one. And I'm sure, you know, maybe if I put the hard work in, maybe one day I will. There's a fairly bright future ahead. I'm not sat here trying to scrape 2 pennies together to make ends meet. And I've got some, you know, good things going in the future. But I'm just like, I want that future now. You know, I want the future now. But my partner and I've discussed what we would do in future, and it is a big ambition of mine to finally go to university, or for those of you in America, college. Yeah, sounds a bit strange for me to be saying that since I'm nearly at the age of 30 now, but yeah, all I say is I want to go to uni. It just took me 11 years to figure out what the fuck I wanted to study. I always found it pretty incredible that, you know, my school back in the day wanted me to commit to this fucking massive amount of debt at the age of 18, and I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do.
Looking to trade?
Let's see what you got.
See something you like, buy it. My stuff.
So yeah, that's the plan. I want to go off to university. I want to study law because I am very interested in law, which is where I want to go into later in life. And I've got all this stuff that I'm doing for financial planning and all that. I'll become a pretty fucking well-rounded individual, you know what I'm saying? But all that stuff takes time. I was hoping, you know, if I stick to doing YouTube and I create content for you guys, then, well, who knows? Maybe I could make a good success of this stuff, and you know, everything would move forwards. I mean, that's the dream, right? Being able to do YouTube full time. It is an ambition of mine. I know I haven't acted like it in the last while, but I can assure you it is an ambition of mine to do it. And I figured that YouTube is quite a positive thing in my life. Like, I really want to make this work, but at the same time, I have to recognise when I'm taking on too much, and I certainly have. I did have the potential likings of a collab being put together. What was his name? Nextbill 08. I'd been emailing him back and forth about potentially setting up a story series because I really liked his format, but he said to contact him after the festive period, and I just completely didn't because, you know, so much crap going on.
If you hit upon something, don't bother telling me.
I'll take a look. Sure.
All the supplies, money, or violence can buy.
And on top of that, like, because I hadn't played this in a while, I did have some big ideas for the hotel and the suites that we're building at Crook Manor. Unfortunately, all those ideas are now lost to the depths of my cranial void. Cranial void. That's Oliver S. 2023. Peak material right there. So I now kind of have to come up with that from scratch again, which is just going to be a laugh. Fuck yeah, I'll buy some steel as well. And tall tales here. So yeah, I now have to kind of sit down and put together some more stuff, more ideas of where I'm going to take that, because I built the shape of that building specifically because I had something in mind, and what I had in mind is now fucking gone because it was 2 months ago. So that's kind of gone. Yeah. So yeah, that is in a nutshell what I've been doing over the past 2 months. It's just been like one thing after another, and yes, I have the mental fortitude to deal with it. I just don't have the mental fortitude to deal with everything at once. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I figured it was time to take a bit of a step back for a while. At the moment, my head is still a bit fuzzy. I have actually spent most of the day before this recording fucking gutting the place. Like, I've cleaned it top to bottom. My kitchen is spotless. Because I work from home, you see, when I've finished whatever I'm doing, I have the ability to just have a quick look around and make sure everything's fine. Thank you.
Let's see what you got.
So yeah, I ended up clearing out my entire bathroom top to bottom, sorted out all the plumbing issues I had, cleaned all the floor, swept up, done all that. I've made the bed, washed all the bed sheets, swept the floor up and vacuumed it all, put everything where it should be. Started reading before bed to try and get a better night's sleep and a better sleeping pattern. All my living room has now been completely decluttered. Floor's now clear. I don't have stools and my backpack and my work stuff, my shoes, all that lying around. None of that's there anymore. My couch has been swept up and cleared. Like, it actually looks like the home of a respectable person now. My kitchen, scrubbed top to bottom, and my god, do I feel tired. But it's done. I feel like for the first time in a couple of weeks, I can just breathe easy, you know. But no, I didn't expect to get this deep in this episode. Fuck it. I'm in for the long haul now. Yeah, it's been a bit much lately. Just things coming through here and there. So I'm not complaining. I'm not saying, you know, oh, everyone else should have left me alone or anything like that. Not at all. These things happen in life. You just have really busy spells, busy periods like this. You can't really afford to get hung up on them. It's just what happens. Excuse me. Tired. Yeah, it takes it out, yeah. So, with all that in mind, I hope you guys can forgive me for the large blackout period. I feel like you guys, you deserve an explanation. You guys, all 580 of you, have been watching me since, well, God knows how long. And I'm hoping from here forwards I can start actually posting some decent content. I might have to step away from Croup Manor for a while just because it has been so long, and I might have to come back to it with fresh eyes. Which in that case, I will have to poll you guys, which settlement would you like me to build next? Because, as I say, I'd love to be able to spend the time constructing something beautiful and amazing again. But Croup Manor probably isn't it for now. So I'm not giving up with Croup Manor. We are going to do every settlement. It's just a case of, I've built all this, I had this in mind. This in mind has now gone from my head. So what I'm going to have to do is go back like a surveyor, off camera at some point, and figure out what it is that's missing. And then I'll have to do it in my own time, just to put it right. So if you guys were looking forward to Croup Manor, I do apologise. But I'm not going to deliver you substandard content. That is just not me. Oh, you know what? I actually feel much better now. Sometimes when your head is burdened, one must relieve the burden. And speaking to a camera is really good, mainly because the camera doesn't speak back. But yeah, that is, in a nutshell, what's been happening in my life. So it's been a combination of social engagements, feeling drained to shit, the festive period, feeling drained to shit again, and helping my partner with life events, and mainly just my own neglect of my mental state. Which, guys, look, if any of you out there struggle with your mental state or are susceptible to it, mate, you've got my full sympathy. Like that stuff is not easy to deal with. I was fighting with it for nearly a decade, so if you do struggle, make sure you get the right help for it. Because if your job is badgering you or whatever, at the end of the day, a job is replaceable. I mean, I don't want to put this in like a malicious way or whatever, but a job's replaceable, a YouTube channel is replaceable, videos are replaceable, all that kind of stuff. It can all be ironed out. Your health, you've only got one of that. You've only got one set of your health. When you neglect your health and you fuck that one up, it's gone. So, whatever you do, look after your mental health. Look after yourself. Because if you can't function, the stuff you're doing can't function. So take it from me. If you need assistance, get it.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Cool. So yeah, on the back of that, I hope you guys can forgive me for the huge lack of contact, but things just panned out the way they panned out, and there's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. But we're back. I'm hoping this will be a much fresher start. I do have my recordings for Project Zomboid, which I've now set up. All I have to do now is write a script and finally sit down and narrate the fuckers. I do still have an episode of the Sims 3 series that I want to get out. That's been pre-recorded. I technically just need to hit the upload button after I'm finished with this and call that one a day, just to get that one out. I hope to continue with this, and if there are any other games that I'm playing, I would really love to share them with you. But that is going to be all from me. The amount of materials I have here, let's have a quick look. 2,000 concrete, 3,000 concrete, 750 steel. I'm not really short on steel, to be honest. Wood I was getting low on, actually, so I'm glad we got that. So 2,000 wood, 3,000 concrete. This is what I do to get materials, in case you guys were wondering. But that is all you're going to get from me today. It's just me to check in and say, hey, look, I'm still here. Episodes will be a-coming. Please don't panic. Please don't picnic. But it's just taken me some time. But yeah, thank you for all your support up until now. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to getting back into the swing of things. If you have any sort of comments or feedback from me or such, just drop it in the comments below. Every time you leave a comment, it makes me smile, so thank you very much. And if you haven't noticed as well, this is actually a new microphone, so if I sound a bit different, get used to it. I'm hoping it sounds better. This is the first time I've tested it on a proper video. But yeah, that is all from me. So hopefully I'll see you in the next episode. Have fun, guys. We out. Peace.